Okay, and today we have another MacBook Air that the customer stated was liquid damaged. However, this MacBook does not look liquid damaged at all. So we're going to start by doing a visual inspection under the microscope. It appears that my computer is going extremely slow. So, notice we have a little liquid damage by the CPU MOSFETs. Not terrible, just a little tiny bit of corrosion. Hopefully our CPU isn't dead. Now we could check that really quick by unplugging the battery and then measuring in diode mode on CPU vCore, or resistance on CPU vCore. Now this is going to be either Haswell or Broadwell ULT, and both of those should be around. You should have greater than 7 ohms on CPU vCore. Broadwell, I've seen them work down to 7 ohms, and Haswell is usually it's depending, usually around 15 to 20 ohms, and this is 16 ohms, so this CPU is most likely just fine. Now if we plug in the charger, what does this MacBook do? So let's have a look at the fan, and the fan spins. And it chimes. So the fan spins and chimes. And we have an Apple logo. So this works. Always the best. Intermittent faults. Intermittent faults. Yeah, this boots. Does it detect our battery? Does it charge our battery? So let's plug in the battery. Is our battery good? Alright, so now people always send stuff to me that works. And it sees the battery. However, it doesn't run off the battery. Now that could be a battery issue, but first we have to pull this board to do a visual inspection. As always. Because we don't know what's lurking on the other side of the board. On the plus side, we know our CPU is okay. Hopefully this isn't showing up as one big video. I would not want that. Let's see. Nope, looks good. Yeah, strange. So now I'll have to call the customer and figure out why they sent this here. However, we do have a little bit of corrosion on the board. So we have some by that one Thunderbolt chip. That backlight driver doesn't look too happy, but it's probably fine since it's working. I don't think liquid got under it, especially pin 5, which is really common for it to corrode. That cap for Thunderbolt can definitely cause some power issues, so we'll replace that. Let's have a look. Our ISL looks okay. That looks nasty. That should go. That should go. SMC reset area looks good. LVDS area looks good. J9500 area looks good. It's really common for this one little pin right here to corrode. Really common. It's going to be this one right here. This will present with no green light usually. To fix this, obviously you just get a little bit of flux in there, touch it up with your iron. It'll scrape a little bit. Sometimes what you can do if that doesn't work is scrape away at the trace right here, and then just make a little jumper wire with wick or something to that pin, solder it. Just don't bridge it to this brass connector. This brass connector is really easy to bridge when you can get a big blob of solder. Another thing easy to do is if your iron isn't that great and doesn't have very good thermal recovery, you'll get bridges actually in here and under, so you'll get bridges up and behind, and those are a pain to get rid of. So I just be careful when you're soldering right here, not to bridge it behind there. Okay, so first area is going to be this thing. I know this is for PCH something or other, so PCH something or other we will fix. Let's grab a donor board. Let's find a donor board that hasn't already been stolen from. Here we go. So, as always, we start with a little bit of Amtech flux. Turn on my quick. Should I replace that backlight driver? Can we trust it? Yeah, I think that'll be okay. Give me 1 second. I am back. I'll wick that. Wasn't gonna wick it, but might as well now. So it's stuff like this that comes here and works. What I usually just do is just touch up the probe points. If you ask a customer and you know you say, well, it's working, you send it to me and it's working now, but do you want me to send it back or do you want me to take care of the corroded stuff? 99 times out of 100 they're going to say take care of the corroded stuff. So at this point I just do it. I mean, very few people are going to say, oh, well, it works, you know what, it has an intermittent fault, okay, well, I'm going to send it back to me and I'm going to chance it. Nobody says that. It's, you know, usually they want you to take care of what's causing issues. Yeah, the CPU definitely needs to be drilled into on this one. That's an excellent idea. I think I should drill into the CPU on this one too. That is an excellent idea. I'm sorry to hear about the fire, Tony. That's really just sucks that that happened. What soldering equipment do you have? Did you have Hacko or was it what brand was your stuff? Alright, what else did we have? Right here. Take board to gun range and give it 45 holes. I felt like doing that before, especially ones that troll me. Old iron I had was an old Weller I had for over a decade. Now someone, I think it was EEV blog that said that the Weller didn't have, that he had one that he blew up because the Weller didn't have a fuse. And I have to reply to email. Give me 1 second. Was this in your house or did you have a repair store? It's even worse being it at your house. Hopefully you don't have any issues with insurance and stuff like that. So this little corrosion right here, I'm not too concerned about. I'm just going to clean the rust off the inductors. These will be fine. I've seen them a lot worse, and I'm not going to replace the inductors on this. There's just no point in it. The rest of the place just had heavy smoke damage. Well, that's better. That's better than your whole house burning down, you know. Still unfortunate. So yeah, so this looks okay. I think after ultrasonic, wait a second. This cannot stay. That cannot stay. Not a chance. V42 regulator looks good. And here we have your typical Apple soldering. And the rest of this board looks good. So ultrasonic, and this will be done. Now the next concern was not running off the battery, so let me go grab a test battery for this and let's test it. Yeah, sorry to hear all your stuff is junk after that. I know smoke just destroys stuff, especially when it's just all over. So I'm going to short the power pads. This is going to be on battery power and not on charger. So I'm going to short the power pads and let's see if it turns on. You know what? This fan is bad. I remember this fan. Wait a second. No, it's not. What am I saying? I thought I had my test fan. Alright, so I'm going to test. So voltage in from the battery is 8.38 volts. See, what do we have on PP bus? We have 8.36 volts on PP bus. However, if we short the power pads, we get nothing. So what is our PP bus voltage on charger? DCN board. Unless I screwed something up soldering, and that's always a possibility. Alright, so it does turn on. on charger. Now what I'm going to do, maybe this test battery went dead. I'm going to leave this plugged in for a little bit and see if this even charges it. Wait a sec, that won't charge it. Because this is clearly bad. But let's just see. I'm going to let it turn on, then I'll unplug the charger and see. Sometimes it'll run for a brief second. But 8.36 volts, we should be okay to run off the battery. I'm so sick of people not using Google for simple questions. It gets annoying after a while when you get asked just stupid stuff continuously, just simple stuff, you know. Google is such a valuable tool, and some people need to use it. Or learn how to use it. Alright, so it appears it is running off the battery now. Maybe the battery was just dead. Let's see if it'll start off the battery now. And it does, so this is good. Just needs ultrasonic, and that's done. And let me see if I have anything more eventful in my pile. I have to wait for the post office to bring more MacBooks, which should be happening in about 30 minutes. Let's see. Touch bar. So here we have an A1706 or something. I don't know what it is. I was working on this one the other night, and I didn't really get anywhere with it. The enable for whatever it's called is missing. 3v3G3 hot. And I replaced the ISL. Still did not work. And then I thought, so first thing I did when I saw the enable was missing, I just stupidly replaced the ISL because usually it's going to be the ISL that's bad. And then I realized the line had a short. So what I did was found the short, cleared the short. That was a cap over here by the shield. Done right there, and I think that pad is actually gone too. I think that got burned off in the short. Or did it? Yes, it did. No, it didn't. It's just not tinned. So after that, I went back and I figured, okay, so that ISL is soldered good. There's nothing wrong there, I don't think. It still didn't work, so I figured, okay, maybe the regulator over here, this is going to be U9603, I think, or something like that. I thought, well, okay, maybe when it's being turned on, maybe the enable signal is being pulled low by this chip only while it's on. So I replaced that, no change. So now we're pretty much at a point where maybe our donor chip is bad. I have more of those chips on the way, so I'll have to wait a few days until those come. Or maybe we have another issue on the board. So we need a few things to get that enabled, or you know, basically this is similar to some of the other boards where you have, you know, AC OK and stuff like that. So there's a few things we could check, and I noticed that this little cap over right here, I believe that was no stuff, but I'm not sure if I might have knocked that off. I don't know. You know, stuff happens. So what I'm going to go ahead and check, I'm going to check stuff in this area, and another possibility is going to be that if our short, what was I going to say? Our short might have damaged something else too. So we're going to go through this list and try and solve it. So the first things first, I want to grab another board and I want to see if that cap is no stuff or if it's something supposed to be there. So let me grab, I think I have another one right here. And that cap is no stuff. So until our new ISLs arrive, there isn't too much we can do. However, we can check a few things. So similar to other boards, like I said, we're going to have some similar rails. So first thing I'm going to check is, let me open the board view. It's one of these. Come on, where is it? No, it's here somewhere. Okay, so we need something called TBA AUX to DET, which is going to be auxiliary detect from, you know, that is going to be charger detection. So that's, I think that's going to be very similar to what adapter sense does in the old boards. Now, if this is not sensing the charger, what's going to happen? Nothing. So we're going to check that and see if we get any voltage there. So I'm going to go ahead and plug this in. And we're just going to confirm that we have some voltage on AC, and we should get 5 volts. You have 5 volts there. So auxiliary detect is going to show up on these 3 pads over here. That's going to be 1.3 volts. I'm not sure about that. I don't know if that's supposed to be 1.3 volts. Because, wait a second, so R71.5 is going to be PPDC and G3 hot. And we have 5 volts. That's a pretty big voltage drop. Now, is that resistor bad, or is it... So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go grab a different board. This other board turns on, it just doesn't have SSD, and I know why, I just haven't addressed it yet. Grab a USB-C port. I think this USB-C port is bad, which it is. There goes that idea. I don't want to take one out. Sometimes the simplest stuff you just don't want to do, like taking 2 screws out of, a laptop. But I will if I must. Well, thank you, Piranov. You solved my questions. Now I don't have to do that. So that would be present then. So our next thing we want to check, where is it? And it appears that Paul Daniels software has stopped functioning as intended. Where's display capture? So look. Well, what happened? It doesn't work anymore. There we go. Next thing we want to check is going to be TBA VDDA, and that is going to be, of course, under the chip, but it will show up right over here. and that is present. Next one is going to be right over here. That is also present, so this is a dead ISL 9329 or whatever, so most likely the chip from my donor board was failed, and I put on a bad chip, so that means I have to wait until a new chip arrives. So, with that being said, it is about time that I go get something to eat, and then I will probably see you guys tomorrow when there is better stuff to fix than what is right here right now. So, thank you guys for watching, and I will see you guys tomorrow.